It's been a tough year for the Big Apple. More than 3.5 million people are estimated to have left the city, at least temporarily. Tourism numbers are down by about 2/3, and many iconic places that make New York the city that never sleeps have been closed. But the light at the end of the tunnel is starting to brighten. Event spaces like this one at the New York Historical Society are now allowed to operate again, albeit at 50% of capacity, up to 150 guests, along with many other restrictions from table placement to who can dance when.
Inquiry flow is starting to come back. We have corporate starting to ask questions about fall availability. There are some holiday party requests across corporate, social, and nonprofit. We're thrilled to finally be having much more proactive conversations about real events returning in person.
Outdoor dining has become a common sight on New York streets in the last year, but that may start to change, with restaurants now allowed to operate indoor dining at 50% of capacity. A very welcome change for restaurants like Tony DiNapoli's in the city's heavily residential Upper East Side. However, elsewhere around town, the change is of little benefit if there aren't enough people to fill the newly available seats.
Prior to the pandemic, it was hard to get a table in our Tony's in Midtown. Very, very popular, very active restaurant. You know, almost a 350-seat restaurant and busy every night. And we had to close it for almost 9 months. It's heartbreaking.
Smaller, family-owned type restaurants may struggle to see any benefit from the increase in indoor dining capacity because of social distancing rules.
They can't survive on 50%, most of them.
With the potential boost to restaurants comes the news that live performance venues such as Broadway theatres can start operating again on April 2nd, but at 1/3 of capacity with a limit of 100 people indoors or 200 outdoors. That was something of a surprise to New York's live venues, and many will be unable to take advantage of the lifting of restrictions until summer or fall.
The date that has been given us is much sooner than most theaters have the capacity to respond to. Our artists are not vaccinated. We don't have funding to do the kind of work that needs to be done to our theaters to bring them back into safe conditions for our audiences and our artists. Artists need to rehearse.
The latest lifting of restrictions has come as a welcome relief to many New Yorkers. However, with so many regulations, it will still take some time for many organizations to take full advantage of the change as the Big Apple continues on its winding road back to normalcy. Henry Morton for VOA News, New York.